Recording in progress.
Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, Marcel. Marcel, I'm just checking for the quorum. Are we a quorum yet?
Good morning, Chairperson, members, colleagues. Chairperson, we are a quorum. We are waiting on a couple of members to join, but we are a quorum. Thank you, Chair.
So everything has so can go there.
Honorable Mokwele, can you please mute? Thanks, Honorable Mokwele. Then we can start, honorable members. Greetings to all honorable members present, as well as the delegation from the department and all officials of the parliament. I just want to welcome each and every one of you to this meeting of the Select Committee on Social Services. Marcia, can you please flag the agenda? Honorable members, on your screen you can see the agenda. Now we are at the item of adoption of the agenda. Can I get a mover for the adoption of the agenda?
Honorable Tauchokwe, Chairperson, Social Development, Gauteng, I move for the adoption.
Thank you, Chairperson. Can I get a seconder?
Honorable Makefeli,
Thank you,
Seconding the
Honorable.
adoption.
Thank you, Honorable Fanny. Now we move over to the apologies. Marcial, can you read out the apologies?
Again, good morning, Chairperson, members, colleagues. Chairperson, we received an apology from the Minister as well as one of the colleagues in the department. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Marcial. Any other apology
Chairperson,
from the?
Honorable
Yes,
Chair. Chair,
yes.
where there is a proof network that I'm just seeing if I can lose maybe somewhere at the end. But for now, I'm still in the meeting.
Thank you, Honorable Makwele. Noted that one. Can I get a mover for the adoption of the minutes?
Apologies, Chair.
Sorry, Marcial, sorry, members. The apologies. The adoption of the apologies.
Honorable Chair Sawubona,
So, Bona, Honorable Sibande.
I move for the adoption of the agenda, but I wanted to raise a concern.
Yes,
Please,
Honorable.
Chairperson, there is a thing which must be addressed. It's very difficult to work with the people who doesn't want to identify themselves. Like in the list of the people who are present today, there are people who are using pseudonyms. For example, there is a person who using iPhone. iPhone who? Who's that? We must know exactly. People, they mustn't hide themselves here because it's serious business. It's not, we're not joking, we're not kids here. May you please, in the future, Chairperson, address it so that we may know that whom are we dealing with. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Sibande. Honorable members, as well as the officials, can we please identify ourselves on our gadgets when logging into the meeting so that we as the members as well as the officials are sure that the right people are in the meeting. So you are moving for the adoption of the apologies, Honorable Sibande. Can we get a seconder for that? For the adoption of the apologies? Honorable Fanny, I see your hand is up.
Yes, it's not an legacy hand, Honorable Chair. I'm
Yes.
second of
Thank you very much, Honorable Fanny. So,
Excuse me, Chairperson, you are muted.
sorry. Now we are moving to the next item on the agenda, and it is the consideration and adoption of the C-list amendments of the Older Persons Amendment Bill. We will request Anne to lead the presentation in terms of the C-list. So Anne, over to you.
Good morning, Chairperson, members of the committee and guests. My name is Sue-Ann Isaac and I'm a legal advisor from Parliament's Legal Services. Chairperson, I'm just going to quickly share a document to explain the proposed amendments. So, Chairperson, after last week's meeting, the colleagues, especially the legal colleagues from the department, the state advisor and I met on Monday to discuss the amendments that were that stem from the public submissions and the negotiating mandates from the provinces. The department had expressed a view on the proposals and had accepted some. However, we had to obviously provide a legal perspective on those submissions, and the colleagues in general, we are in agreement with that certain amendments can be affected to the bill if the committee agrees, and we are of the view that certain of those amendments should not be affected. And I will explain each of the amendments and I will refer to the matrix that was presented last week. So the first amendment that the department accepted was to change the memorandum to include the South African Older Persons Forum in full, and we are in agreement that that should be done. The other amendment that was proposed was to include any person to the definition of caregiver, and we are in agreement as the legal team that that is an acceptable amendment. Similarly, with family care, to include or any other person, and we are in agreement that that definition should be amended to include that wording. The next proposed amendment that the department had agreed to was to amend the definition of Director General, and we are in agreement that that will bring that in line with proper drafting convention. Chairperson, there was a proposal to include the definition of ageism. And the legal team was not in agreement that we include this definition because this ageism is a word that is ordinarily understood. And if we define it, it would be unnecessary. So we do not agree that there should be a definition of ageism because the dictionary definition will suffice for the purposes of the Act. The next proposal was also in the definition section to include a definition for older persons forum. We are of the view that the older persons forum is not used in the bill or in the principal act and therefore does not need to be defined. The next amendment was to interdepartmental structure. That is in the definition of interdepartmental structure, and there was various proposals from the provinces and the public submissions to include other departments, and we are in agreement that that should be done. We've also proposed that the wording be changed just to bring it in line with the proper drafting conventions, and I will explain that once we project the sealers. The next proposal was to include this in clause 2, which deals with the objects of the Act to prevent and combat practices of ageism against older persons. And we did agree that that was an acceptable amendment. There was a proposal to amend clause 3 to refer to any other licensed and or accredited stakeholders rendering services in terms of this Act. So the view that we had agreed on that we do not need to speak about licensed or accredited stakeholders. If we are going to include this amendment, we do not have any specific provisions in the legislation that determines how a stakeholder will be licensed or accredited. Now, if we're going to include these requirements, we need to consult with the stakeholders and agree, so there must be some sort of consultation and agreement with the department to propose how this license and accreditation will take place. So we therefore do not think that this proposal should be accepted in terms of, because it must be subjected to public participation before there is some sort of agreement as to what this accreditation and licensing should take place, and it's not necessary in the context of this section. The next proposal that was agreed to was to clause 3, and this was to amend 3.4 to say to achieve the implementation of the Act in the manner contemplated in subsection 1, 2, and 3, all public service facilities and service points providing services, including the private sector, must prioritize older persons. Chairperson, we're not in agreement that this should be included in the bill. To include the private sector without consulting with the private sector as to what the implications of them prioritizing older persons would result in us creating a procedural challenge. Whenever we create obligations on any party or stakeholder, we need to make sure that they are part of the process and have an opportunity to express their views. So when we now extend this prioritization of older persons to the private sector, we do not know what the financial implications are for the private sector, individual members of the private sector or businesses. We don't know whether they'll be able to do that and comply because we haven't given them an opportunity to comment on this particular clause. So if we're going to do something of this nature, we need to have a public consultation process to give them an opportunity to comment. However, what must be understood that this clause deals with all public services and service points providing services must prioritize older persons. So anyone who's dealing with providing public service or public service facilities and anyone involved in providing services at service points must prioritize older persons. So if it's a private sector body that provides public services, then they must prioritize older persons. So for the purposes of passing this particular bill, you have to view that if the committee wants to include the private sector, they will have to consult, have a process of public consultation. If the committee does not want to embark on that process, then our proposal is that this amendment not be accepted, and maybe at some later stage, the department can have that consultation and bring a further amendment as in due course. Again, clause 4, it's a similar view of including the private sector in prioritizing, in binding them to the act. The comment is Section 4 of the Act provides for the application of the Act. Stakeholders include the private sector who are involved in the implementation of the Act. So it's not necessary to include the private sector because any stakeholder who's involved in the implementation of the Act, be they in the private sector or in the public sector, this section they are bound by this section. So it's not, this particular amendment is not necessary. With regard to clause 6, the proposal was to include this phrase and ageism practices. We do not agree that this should be included because clause 7 for BA provides for a general protection against any form of abuse. So ageism, the action itself seeks to protect older persons, and any form of abuse related to older persons will fall into the category of age discrimination. So in the context of this clause, it provides very specific, a general protection against abuse, and therefore it's not necessary to include this, it basically will be repeating the aim of the clause. So we do not think that is necessary. With regard to clause 15, there was a proposal to extend that 48 hours that the police officer who now takes a person into temporary care must get a court order, and we are in agreement that that clause should be amended. The last, clause 18, amendments to section 33D. There was a proposal to include this wording, stealing or forceful taking of older persons in Roman 4, stealing and forceful taking from older persons. Our comment is clause 33D provides for various forms of unlawful dispossession of property belonging to an older person, and therefore the intention of the proposal is already covered in the existing bill, so we don't need to include that. And further, theft, which is described as stealing here, is a crime and is dealt with under the criminal law. So that is also provided for there. The next proposal was to clause 18, and the proposal was to again include discrimination based on age and then define what ageism is. The comment is that Section 30 of the Act, that is the principal act which is already in operation, provides for prohibition of abuse of older persons and special measures to combat abuse of older persons. In other words, this clause already provides for prohibitions against harmful conduct directed at an older person due to their age. Further, Section 32 of the Act provides any conduct or lack of appropriate action occurring with any relationship where there is an expectation of trust which causes harm or distress or is likely to cause harm or distress to an older person constitutes abuse of an older person. So clause 33 provides for specific forms of harm in relation to clause 32. So the view is that we do not need to include ageism because we have very specific forms of harm that would fall under the category of ageism. And so it's therefore already covered in the existing provision of the bill. The next proposal was to amend section 31(1), and this deals with a person who has requested that their criminal record be expunged. One of the public submissions had said that a person should not necessarily be allowed to continue providing services to an older person, although their criminal record is expunged, without providing proof that they have been rehabilitated. So we do agree with the proposal, the policy proposal. We have worded it a bit differently. So Chairperson, before I go to the C list, those were the views, the legal views expressed by the team. I don't know whether, with your permission, my colleagues want to add any comments or to what I've said.
They can add if there are some comments or inputs.
Good morning, Chairperson. All is in order. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now you can proceed then to the C list.
Thank you, Chairperson. So the C list is on the left-hand side of the screen. I hope you can see two documents.
Yes, so we can see it.
Sure. So just to explain the members, I think this is the first piece of legislation that the committee is processing. So the C list is basically the list of amendments that the committee is proposing and will agree to if they do agree to this. And the document on the right-hand side is the actual bill that is before the committee. So when you read the C list, you look at the instruction and you would find it in the B bill indicating where exactly the amendment. So that's a bit technical, but just to give members some kind of understanding as to how this process works, so everyone is on the same page. So the first proposed amendment that the team had agreed to was to amend the definition of caregiver. So we will include those words, any other person. So it'll be a family member or any other person who provides family care. So that's where the proposed amendment will be inserted if we agree to. The next proposed amendment is to Director General. So if you read page 2 on line 28, to omit the definition of Director General and to substitute with this. So it will now say Director General means the Director General of the department responsible for social development. And that is just to bring it in line with a proper drafting style. The next proposed amendment is to family care. And there we again will include the words any other person. So after members, we will say or any other person. So it'll read family member means the provision of support and assistance by family members or any other person to an older person, including one who is frail or living with disabilities. The next proposed amendment is on page 3 in line 10 to the definition of intergovernmental structure, and the definition is changed to include public works, agriculture, land reform and rural development, defense and military veterans. And the team has also proposed that we reword it to now say means a structure consisting of the departments responsible for those following functions. And the reason why we propose that it be worded as that is that when a department is restructured and renamed, we don't want to now have to go back and have to amend the legislation. But if we speak about certain functional areas, then whichever department becomes responsible for that functional area will still be required to be part of this interdepartmental structure. So that is just to ensure there's some level of flexibility if there's any change in the way government is structured. So those are the proposals to clause 1 of the definition. It's those 4. So the next one will be to clause 2, which deals with the objects of the act. And the proposal is to include a further object is that prevent and combat ageism against older persons. So one of the objects of the act, if it is accepted by the committee, is for a new F to be inserted, and it will say what is written on the screen. The next clause that we do agree to the amendment is clause 15. Okay, so this is the clause relating to the removal of older persons to temporary care, safe care, and this is a current provision in the bill on the right, and the only wording that will be added is C. Without delay, obtain a court order from within 48 hours for the placement of the older person in temporary safe care. So the wording on the top is exactly the same, but just for technical drafting issues, like we have to change the and, we've put it on the C list again, but just to alert the committee, C is the new amendment, and it, if accepted, it will be inserted in 3 as 3C, subsection 3C. The next amendment is to clause 19. And this deals with the expungement of a criminal record, and a person who now, after the record has been expunged, still wishes to provide services to older person. And the proposed new wording to clause 19 will be a new subsection 4. It will read, any person referred to in subsection 3 who wants to operate or be employed at a residential facility, or who wants to provide any community-based care and support services to an older person must provide proof that he or she has been rehabilitated as prescribed. So that is the wording of the proposal. Sorry, that's just an error there. So that is the wording, provide proof that he or she has been rehabilitated as prescribed. So basically this clause will say that if your record is expunged, you still must meet a further requirement to show that you are rehabilitated and you can now deal with older persons, and the minister will prescribe the requirements to show that the person must meet to show that they are rehabilitated. So Chairperson, that is the A list that from the amendments that the legal team does agree that should be considered by the committee. So yeah, Chairperson, that's what I have to say. I don't know whether my colleagues also want to add anything or to clarify anything, but thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Sue-Ann. Is there any colleague of Sue-Ann that wants to add or give her input?
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, all present. This is the Senior State Law Advisor speaking. Not at this stage, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So that is the C list of the Older Persons Amendment Bill that is before us. So from the department, is there any inputs from your side as a department?
Good morning once more, Honorable Chair, honorable members and colleagues. Not from my side, Honorable Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now we can proceed to the honorable members. Honorable members, any inputs, questions of clarity from your side? It doesn't look like it, honorable members, so you are fine with the C list. So can we get a mover to adopt the C list of amendments, honorable members?
Honorable Chairperson,
Yes, Honorable Adrianse.
I move. Thank you to adopt
Thank you,
this.
Honorable. Thank you, Honorable Adrianse. Is there a seconder? Honorable members, a seconder? Honorable Fanny. Yes,
thank you,
Honorable Fanny.
Yes. So, Honorable Chair, no, because of my gadget here, I was a little bit out when we wanted some engagement, but when I came back,
We can't hear you clearly, Honorable Fanny.
come again?
We can't hear you clearly now. We can hear you. You can proceed.
Oh, you can, yeah.
Yes, we can
What
hear
is
you
happening?
now. So you can
Oh, you can
proceed
hear me. Okay, yes,
now.
gadget. Okay. Yes, thanks. No, I was going to make a plea, Honorable Chair, that the direct responses to the submissions that were made by provinces in our adopting, the bill, so that those submissions don't be seen as if they were disregarded or ignored for convenience and purposes. I think that's what that's my second bill.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Fanny. But we are discussing the final mandates of the provinces next week, Honorable Fanny. So then we will make sure that all the inputs from the provinces is included in the bill. Thank you, Honorable Fanny, for the secondment. Now we will request we want to thank the department for making them available for this meeting, and we will request them to please log out while we as a committee proceed with the other items on the agenda. Thank you to the officials of the department.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and honorable members. Goodbye.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Thanks a lot. Marcel, if you can also help me, all of the...
Chairperson,
Yes.
apologies, I'm struggling to leave the meeting. I'm still here. Can somebody throw me out?
Okay, we will ask the admin to throw out Ms. Silva.
Thank you so much.
Chairperson.
Yes, Honorable Pate.
You see, I'm raising it secondly, and it will demoralize us to participate if these things are happening like this. I think you are the chairperson who's supposed to give us marching orders. There are people who are not serious about this. I indicated earlier on about the issue of the iPhones. I know that people are using their iPhones, but they must identify themselves. They don't. It means that when you are coming next time, I'll recommend that we don't start a meeting without identifying ourselves for some security reasons and some of the stuff. If he or she is a member, I don't think that members are doing that. Members, they've corrected that, they identify themselves. Unlike those they are here with us, but they don't identify. Check with the list where we're supposed to raise hands. You'll see the iPhone 1, iPhone 2, all the stuff. People are not taking us serious. We're members of parliament, of which we are authorized to do 1, 2, 3 in terms of our line function, but to be undermined, I won't take it. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Sipande. I will request then the hosts of the meeting to not let the members or anyone that do not identify themselves be let into the meeting for the next meeting, Honorable Subande. So they must not be let into the meeting if they can't identify themselves. Is it fine with you, Honorable Subande?
I will keep quiet for today because it means that they're not serious. My legal experience in some of the meetings, yes, that is the approach. If a person failing to identify himself or herself, mute them, take them out. Because that is a disrespect of in his highest degree. That's why we even I will put an example. Remember, in the house, to us as members, it's worse because before you open your mouth, they say identify yourself. You show your face and then you can cut your face. You know, that is a sign of respect that we really are dealing with these people. Because we don't want manga stories in the future, next future. But I'll leave it to that chairperson at this moment.
Thank you, Honorable Sibande. So we will request that from the admin staff that is hosting the meetings. Don't let anyone in when they do not identify themselves on their gadgets. Honorable members, we now at the next item on the agenda, and that is the consideration and adoption of the Oversight Report, Western Cape 2024, honorable members. So from my side as the chairperson, as we all know, knew that when we were on the oversight, two of our MECs of the Western Cape were not at the oversight briefing sessions. So as a chairperson, I will request the secretary and the staff that it must include it in the report that the two MECs was not present at the briefing session as requested, so that all of us can know that there was an issue surrounding the attendance of them. And they also submitted, one of them, Honorable Lont, the MEC, he also submitted a letter indicating that the notice, the time of notice, was not enough for him to attend this oversight. So, honorable members, I will now give over to you in terms of any inputs from your side. Thank you, honorable members. Honorable members, are you here? Honorable Adriaanse.
Honorable Chairperson, I just need to make sure, as I understood it at the time, the MECs indicated that the invite wasn't clear and they understood it as a notification of the oversight. So I'm not sure that it was a question of not honoring the invite. It was more a misunderstanding. And I think we should note it as such that the invite wasn't clear and that it should have been stated in the beginning of the invite that they are to attend it. And I think that was one of the biggest problems that was raised in the communication at the time, that the invite wasn't defined clearly. And if memory serves correctly, we had a similar problem in our education oversight regarding the invite communication, the way it was drafted. It sounded like a notification more like than that they must be there to attend to us. I suppose it goes without saying, but in this case, being very busy and programmed for weeks in advance, and with appointments, we must, for future purposes as well, look into this and see to it that we inform them way in advance and make sure that they know they have to attend to meetings and briefings as such to avoid recurrences of this.
Thank you,
So I would
Honorable
state it like that. Thank you.
Honorable Adrianza. I take note, Honorable Fanny.
No, thank you very much, Chair. No, mind, Chair. I just want to correct something here because there must be no similarity. The similarities must not be made even when they are not featuring. On education, there was no such an issue in terms of the correspondence, but the issue was around the question of MEC attending another program. Therefore, they submitted an issue that they are going to be late. So I do not want us to have similarities that do not exist. Here, the issue is simple, is the question of correspondences and so on. So I do not want us now to combine the two that are not the same. I wanted just to raise that, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Fanny. I take note of that. So there was just an issue in the education oversight that the MEC did attend another program, and it was not around the correspondence. Any other member?
Chairperson,
Yes, Honorable Sibande.
I'll make a follow-up on what Honorable Fanny commented about. You see, I wanted to appeal that, number one, the issue of ministers, I'll put an example in a house. Remember the principle we agreed upon, that we need the principal to come and give us whatever. They mustn't give it to the officials. We are going to accept if the principal is there, so that if there is some of the difficult questions, it must go to the relevant people. Even with this stage, I'll appeal very strongly that if we are going to a province, MECs must be there. MECs must come, so that if there is a question we must ask, that MEC direct. But there is this culture around in some of these provinces, in particular Western Cape, whereby some people are taking us for granted. When they wish they don't come, when they wish they don't even apologize, just keep quiet. And us, we keep quiet. I think that one must come to an end. We must relook it and come to an end. Some of these people, they forget that they are accounting officers in terms of the PFMA and as well as the constitution of this country. People who behave like that, as a committee, we do have rights to summon them. Underline, we do have rights to summon them to come and account to us in the parliament. I'll keep it there at the moment.
Thank you, Honorable Chibande.
Chairperson,
Honorable, yes, Honorable Makwele.
I've been like, very much. Chair. Yeah, Chair, I'm covered by other members, but also I'm given comfort by your good self when you say that you'll handle the matter very harshly, because remember, oversight need there are executive undertakings that they made. Like when we were in Western Cape, as other members indicated, that there were a lot of undertakings that they made. But if there is nobody with executive authority, it's like we are just playing games, Chairperson. I should think for now, like you said, you will we have undertaken our oversight role. We went through many areas in the Western Cape. There were issues that we found. There were bad and good issues that we found there. But if there is nobody who can make executive undertaking, that is the problem. So now my view, Chair, to this committee is yes, we will deliberate on the report. But I should think that as the committee, we still need to get but in our plenary, if there is no minister who can answer questions, we don't, our rules doesn't allow us. Even us as parliament, taking all our time, go to the province. An ordinary the MEC can't even want to preach up. What if we are able to summon the minister who can come and account before us as members of parliament, but we get undermined by the MEC? I should think now my view, Chair, is that we'll look at the report, but before we'll take that report to the NCOP, my proposal is that those MECs, they must come before this committee. We must summon them through your office, Chair. We must ask them to come before this committee and ask them, maybe, and be able to tell us that why, when we are there coming to oversight, remember when we even do oversight, the people, the Western Cape, they've raised a lot of frustration, which as members of parliament, how are we going to assist while the person with executive authority doesn't come to us so that we can assist the people there? We went through many places. People in Western Cape, they are suffering. There are a lot of challenges. They are not funded. There are older persons that are staying in a situation that are not good. But even at some areas where they try, they've cried about the issue of funding there. So now who's going to assist them if they don't come and tell us that as the executive authority leading the department, we are doing well. When we come here, we've got the frustration. So now my view, Chair, I'm saying without being more harsh, because we have done oversight. Otherwise, we should have said, no, we don't consider everything that oversight. Unfortunately, the government of national unity will always put people first. Because unfortunately, even though they were not there, we went to the people, we hear what the people are complaining about. So otherwise, because of the fact that we put people first, we were not supposed to consider the report, but we will consider, we'll deal with the report. But before we take it to the stage of NCOP, if it is finally being adopted, they must come so that they can tell us that they are agreeing with whatever they've said it here, whatever their junior official. And then in future, I should think as this select committee, we mustn't allow anybody, irrespective of whether you are from which party. Yesterday, Honorable Penny, I was very much impressed about the conduct of the Minister of Basic Education, who always respects your committee. But what about other ministers? What about other MEC? But Chair, I should think that in fact, I'm very much disappointed and very much discomforted as the whip of this committee. Because remember, we were working as a team. I'm very much impressed about the team of all members here. We work very well. We always take our parties on the side. and put the people first. So, but if people start to disrespect us as members of parliament, I think that's where we'll have a problem. But those are my views, Chair. But nonetheless, you said as chair of this committee, we respect your view to say you will handle it, but let us handle it very promptly so that in the future we don't get anything that can repeat itself. I thank you, Chairperson, and sorry for taking time. I wanted just to ventilate so that I'm fine. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Makwele. So as the committee chairperson, we will write a letter to the MECs indicating to them that we as a committee want to meet with them regarding the commitments that was made by the officials of the different departments. So now we can proceed in terms of the report. Honorable members, we have received the report on last Friday. Is there any comments regarding the report or any inputs or any questions of clarity? Honorable members. So, honorable members, according to you, our report is detailed and it captures all what happened on the oversight. I'm not used to the members being this silent. Honorable members, so can we then proceed in terms of adopting the report? Can I get a mover for the adoption of the report?
Chairperson?
Yes, Honorable.
No, thanks for coming again. Chairperson, with regard to the report, like I've said, the report is fine. I went through the report. The report is, and also let me also appreciate our officials, those support staff and your good self who were responsible for sharing the meeting. So everything with regard to the report is detailed, is telling us the true reflection of what was happening there, and even the good things and the challenges that we found there, as I was mentioning. The only thing, Chair, like I'm saying, I move that we adopt the report, but on condition that we still gonna need an executive undertaking from the MEC before we finally take it to the NCOP. But other than that, report, because it was us that were there, all of us together with honorable members, I would think we are fine with the report. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Makwele. Honorable Adriansa.
Yes, I also want to thank everyone's input on this, and with the amendment being put in, I second the report, the adoption of the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Adriansa. Now we proceed in terms of the agenda. We have received the minutes. Marcia, can you flag the minutes?
Yes, Chair.
So the minutes, final minutes of the meeting of the Select Committee on Social Services. The date is the 4th of September. Can we get any questions of clarity or inputs regarding that minutes, honorable members?
Chairperson, I just want to check. The 4th of September. Oh, I'm at the 6th of November's minutes, so sorry. Sorry for that.
All right. No, it's fine, Honorable Adriansa. Now can we get a mover for the adoption of this minutes, honorable members? Honorable Fanny?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm moving for the adoption of the minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Fanny. Is there a seconder for the adoption of the minutes? Honorable Pate?
Yes, I move for this. I second the adoption of the minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Pate. Can we move to the next minutes? I think it's the 6th of, I don't know, but let us check. Yes, the 6th of November, 2024. Can we get a mover for the adoption of this minutes?
Madam Chairperson,
Yes, Honorable Adrianse.
Northwest, I read the negotiation mandate and not Ms. Oris. She was not on the meeting at that time, struggling with the internet. So if we can just correct that.
Thank you.
And
So,
if it's corrected, I can move to adopt it. Thank you.
thank you, Honorable Adrianse, with that amendment. Honorable Makwele.
That is a legacy hands, man.
Oh, all
No, no, it's
right.
not a legacy hand.
Okay. Honorable
Not a legal
Makwele.
hand. No, thanks very much, Chairperson. Like, with regard to Limpopo, I also want to say we with the amendment that we have indicated, also Chair, with the corrections that the department they indicated to us, we also need that, so that we are, even when we go to present, we know that we have covered everything. And thank you.
Thank you. So you are seconding the minutes of the 6th of November. Thank you, Honorable Makwele. Marcial. So that is all the minutes that must
Yes,
be
Chair.
adopted.
Yes, Chair.
So we are through with our agenda.
Yes, we are, Chair.
So I just want to thank all the members present for being here and for making time to be part of this meeting, honorable members. And thank you to the officials for the report, as well as all your inputs from the legal advisors. And thank you very much. This meeting stands adjourned.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Have a blessed day. Bye.
Thank you all
Chairperson.
members.
Siyabonga, Chairperson.
Siyabonga, Honorable Sibambe.
Chairperson.
Eliboga, Honorable Makwele.